In this episode, the deltoid and carving the shit out of that whole delicious lump of clay on top of your arm.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 273 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast in the realm, primarily because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. So if you're watching live or on YouTube, there's Everest and there's K2. Enjoy, marinate your eye sockets on the fucking gains. You love it. Don't fucking lie. You know what? Give me some thumbs. Give me some thumbs up on fucking Facebook. Float some thumbs if you're miring the gains. If you're yeah. Yes. The Swolecast has started where the biceps are large and the nipples are hard. We are going to Pound Town on the deltoid today. So it is Flex Friday. And thank you for listening on SoundCloud and iTunes, watching on YouTube, and catching it live every day at 12 noon Eastern Time on Facebook at Swolenormous. So totally cool. And just to preface this while people are coming through the door, and like I said, you can share this broadcast. You can also tag people in the comments to get them in here. And I want to say before we begin, first off, thank you so much to everyone for your support. And so you know that Facebook does promote these posts and live broadcasts to people that want to see it. So the more people that are in here, the more that you like the broadcast and throw thumbs, the more that you comment, and the more that you share, the better off these shows and these podcasts do. So it's much appreciated. So I really wholeheartedly appreciate that because Facebook looks at that and the analytics and the algorithms sense people love this. People want to see this. People want other people to see this. So then other people that like the page will get it more organically and they start to see it more often. So the more you interact and posting comments or saying that you agree, floating some thumbs when I say something that you agree with, sharing it to someone that might need to see it, tagging someone below, it makes a big difference. So thank you right off the bat. And secondly, anyone that's interested in signing up for Swolenormous Premium, or those of you that are in Swolenormous Premium already, if you didn't catch my Instagram story or my Snapchat, today, right after this episode, because it's a Flex Friday episode, I'm going to be going live and breaking down some of these exercises in my private membership group, Swolenormous Premium. So if you want to sign up for Swolenormous Premium and you're watching live, or you're listening on SoundCloud, iTunes, or you're on YouTube, but if you're watching live on Facebook, on my page, you click the sign up button. It goes right to the sign up page so you can get into Swolenormous Premium. And it's only $4.99 a month. And you get access to all the live broadcasts, exercise breakdowns. There's a lot of videos and a private playlist. And we do polls. We do community program design and form breakdown and corrective exercise. All great stuff. And it's very individualized, but it's a great family and community. So I encourage you to join because right after this, what I talk about today, we're going to get into, and I'm going to physically break it down and show you all the different exercises that I'm talking about and the ones that you can do at home, which is great. So we're going to talk about it here, but I'm going to demonstrate and break it down into more detail in Premium. So those of you that are in Premium already, good shit coming for you today. So you lucky ducks. And if you're not in Premium yet, why the fuck aren't you in Premium? Sign up for Premium right now. You can always come back in. I'll still be here, but it'll take you like 2 minutes to do that. You can also do it right after the show gets off, and I could try to get you in there before we go live. So the deltoid. The deltoid, like I said, this episode's lit like a tit. Still don't know what that means. If you have any ideas, you can always message me or post up in the comments below what you think lit like a tit actually is. The deltoid. The deltoid is the shoulder, okay? We'll just generally, place it the shoulder, the top of the arm right here. That bad boy. The deltoid is made up of three muscles, the anterior, medial, and the posterior head. So you have three parts of the deltoid. The deltoid is one of the most important muscles for aesthetics. Most of us always talk about core and abs, and that's what we talked about a lot this week in the previous two episodes. However, aesthetics, bodybuilding, and the classic V-taper and the classic physique look that people often are desiring, in addition to abs and having a six-pack and being lean overall, is to have shoulders that are wider. And that broad shoulder look and that cap in the shoulders give you a nice V-taper. If you're looking for a smaller waist, building the shoulder also gives you that illusion and that visual physique of having wider shoulders, tiny waist, and having that V. So it makes you look more like shapely, more like one of those Greek gods and one of those statues, and the aesthetic appeal. So it creates illusion, but also gives you a wider upper body, but it gives you that nice cut in the upper arm. So it gives you some more definition as well if your diet's on point. So broader shoulders, smaller waist, V-taper, aesthetic look. You might be familiar with that. You know what we're talking about. Now, the posterior deltoid, I've mentioned in other shows and other episodes that the posterior gives you that 3D look, and most people avoid the shoulder or they ignore the shoulder. Posterior deltoid is very, very important. It's the muscle that does horizontal abduction, like this, moving the arms away from the midline when the humerus is at 90 degrees. It also does shoulder extension, so when you push the arm back behind the body, and it also does external rotation when you rotate the humerus away from the midline. So the posterior deltoid does 3 movements. And in my Swolenormous Premium group, I do have a video on the floor cobra, which is a fantastic exercise to hit all 3 of those movements. And it's very, very important for upper body and shoulder stability. So, and okay, I just saw in the comments below, you can't hear anything I'm saying. If there's a connection issue or anything of that sort, then it could be your end. If it's my end, that's so be it. You can always catch this later on the podcast and, or on YouTube. That's why there's so many safeguards. So you're always going to get that. You can always catch it later. And yes, Dominic, we don't drop knowledge bombs. We don't drop knowledge bombs on the Daily Swole. We drop knowledge nukes. I drop knowledge nukes. I want to absolutely just destroy life as we know it with these fucking knowledge nukes. Like, I'm killing life. So if you don't have, here's the thing, if you don't have health insurance and you need an antibiotic, just watch the Daily Swole, and these knowledge nukes are going to just destroy any bad bacteria that is, imbalanced in your gut biome. So we're going to take care of that. Yeah, if she's miring the gains. No, I will not put a shirt on. I will not put a shirt on. There's a trillion things you could be watching or doing right now besides watching Daily Swole, but you're here because you're miring the gains. Let's just be honest, and let's get on with the show. So the posterior deltoid gives you that 3D effect, and if you're looking at it from the side, you're going to get that point, you're going to get that pop, and most people avoid or don't or just ignore the posterior deltoid. You don't see it in the mirror, and it's not glamorous to train, and it's hard to isolate if you have imbalances. So, Jennifer, you crack me up. You need to carve the head. You need to carve the head, you need to carve it out. And these muscles, like the posterior deltoid, these smaller muscles, are oftentimes very high ratio type 1 fibers. And you might, if you take your notes on the Daily Swole from these knowledge nukes, if you take notes, you might remember that type 1 fibers are slow twitch fibers. They're slow twitch, they provide low levels of force and more endurance. So they get stimulated and they get developed and they get stimulated for growth. Type 1 isn't really more prone to growth, but you can still stimulate growth in type 1 fibers. You just have to hit it with more volume and higher repetitions, and you have to hit it with volume, volume, volume. This is why the deltoid is excellent for isometrics. That's why gymnasts have big shoulders. That is why the shoulders are great for these isometric holds. And lucky for all of you, in the program that I'm about to release has a lot of these concepts with isometrics, and it's going to blow the hell out of your shoulders. So it's fantastic. So doing higher repetitions, I do posterior deltoid work with 5 pounds. I do a lot of low weight stuff that makes people in the gym look at me like, what the hell is he doing? However, the gains don't lie. The gains don't lie. You know where I'm punching my ticket? To fucking Gainesville. You know where I'm going. Everyone knows where I'm going. So the weight does not delineate the result in every single muscle. It's not always about heavy weight and, just crushing heavy weight. It's about the form. It's about the right muscle working. Also, on the back side, the long head of the triceps. You might not realize that the long head of the triceps, there are 3 parts of the triceps. Try 3. The long head of the triceps is the only part of the triceps that crosses the shoulder joint. And you get that full feeling where you get that tie-in on the back of the shoulder from the long head of the triceps underneath and under the posterior deltoid. So doing certain exercises that I'm going to demonstrate for Swolenormous Premium with some flexion and extension of the shoulder simultaneously with the triceps will isolate that long head and will give you that fullness and that more separation when you're working the posterior deltoid and the triceps in tandem. So you have to combine almost the triceps a little bit with the posterior deltoid. That's why back and triceps on the same day could be good or bad. It could be fatiguing to the triceps because you're working them as well on back day, which you might not realize. Why you get sore under your arm, it could be you're not activating your scapula properly and hitting your lat muscles or your rhomboids and your traps as well, and you're hitting more long head of the triceps. But at the same time, doing a pairing of back and triceps is fantastic because you get that synergistic movement with the long head, with those kind of shoulder extensions and that kind of movement. So there are different styles of training and different ways you could do your split. So sky's the limit, depends on your weak points. If that's a weaker area, then you need to focus on it, and that's going to be something that you can change your split. You don't have to do chest and triceps just because that's what you've always done. If you need different results, you have to change up your workout routine. And if you need to develop a back area, you should be doing bis or triceps and back together and doing shoulder on a separate day and hitting those areas more frequently and with more fervor and more focused attention to get those results to bring them up to speed. The biceps, at the same time, the biceps, actually, just so you know, the biceps don't really touch the humerus. They don't touch the humerus. They don't insert onto the humerus at all. They start at the scapula, and the bicep tendons insert onto the forearm. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of the actual bony landmark or where they actually insert onto, but the biceps does, in our conversation, what we're talking about now with the deltoid, it does shoulder flexion. The biceps tendon pulls the arm upwards. So you can get, if you're looking to hit the biceps and you want to get more of that upper area, most people want to work the belly and the lower part and the insertion point. But if you want to get more towards the origin, then you can do certain bicep curls where you get a dynamic synergistic action and you work multiple movements. Not only do you work the bicep from the elbow flexion, but you're going to work the bicep at the origin where it's pulling across the shoulder joint. You're going to get that shoulder flexion, okay? So there's certain ways to do that that would be most effective to work the bicep, belly, the muscle, and try to develop that upper area of the bicep more. So you have options. You have options. Now, if you're just trying to build mass and you're new to training, this is going to be too fancy. You need to stick with the basics. However, if you have been working out for a while and you want to develop certain areas more, for whatever reason, personal preference or imbalance that you see because you've been working out for a couple years or several months and you have fullness and you want to, swap one exercise out and focus a little more on a certain area, that's fine. Granted, you can have whatever you want in life if you work hard for the most part. So you can bias your training towards certain movements that I'm going to demonstrate in premium right after this episode. So medial work, the medial deltoid. Talked about how that thickness in that side deltoid, that lateral deltoid, the medial head, is going to be good for getting that aesthetic appeal. Now, I've demonstrated on certain workouts on my YouTube channel during my shoulder workouts. You see me doing low incline lying side raise with dumbbells because it changes the tension, puts all the tension at the bottom of the movement, and it decreases the tension at the top, and it's great for negatives. It's a great exercise to build the cap, build the medial deltoid, and that is going to allow you to create that width and that boulder and that bulge on the side of the shoulder. Now, these are all contingent, of course, on proper nutrition and being lean. Otherwise, you're still going to have a rounded shoulder. But if you're looking to carve certain areas and you're looking to tighten things up and create more of a pump and more of a fullness and more of a development in all areas of the shoulder, these things are going to be very, very important in addition to working on your posterior rotator cuff, which does hit some of the posterior shoulder as well in order for that development. You have to work things aren't glamorous. You have to do things that people don't do, and you have to do things with lighter weight that most people with their ego, they can't release it and they can't swallow the fact that they have to be in the gym in front of girls or girls in front of guys lifting 5 pounds doing a weird exercise. I don't give a shit. I'm there to do work. I'm not there to meet people. So if you're self-conscious, you got to get that thought out of your fucking head if you want to see some gains. It's not going to be pretty. The gym is not for entertainment. They put TVs everywhere because they want you to be there and pay monthly. They put a smoothie bar in there. It's like, ooh, I can hang out, I can eat food and stay fat and, and keep coming to the gym. They put a lot of entertainment. They put a sauna and a steam room, and they put a basketball court, and they put all these blah, 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 these little fun things, and these little, the balls and the pretty colors and the balls and the mats and all these machines that look fun and classes and group exercise when the work is done with the fucking steel. I don't care what your opinion is. This is mine, and it works. So if you don't have the results that you're happy with, you have to do things differently. And that's just a fact. If what you're doing isn't working, then stop fucking doing it. I'm telling you with such confidence and with such a delivery and such a dick slap in the face of knowledge nukes because it works. And it's been proven for decades. The steel works, the gym works, the weights work. Yoga works. Fuck everything else. 1, 2, and then 3. Fuck everything else. You don't need to go running for 10 miles. You don't need to do Zumba. You don't need to do Pilates. You don't need to do bar classes and that crap. You don't need to do these home cardio workouts you see on TV. You don't need to do that shit. People hate cardio for a reason. The body doesn't want to do it. Why? Because your body doesn't fucking need it. It's good for heart health. Okay, then do 10, 15 minutes a few days a week. Go for a long walk. Your body's designed to walk long distances. It's designed to sprint short distances. I'm not saying don't move functionally, and people are saying, well, you just lift weights, but you're not doing any functional movement. The fuck are you talking about? You've obviously never done yoga. I'm telling you, literally, yoga, pure function and like the core of existence. And then you have weight training, building muscle, bone density, and you're getting everything. You're getting everything with those two things and like general cardio or activity that you enjoy for heart health, walking, and trust me, you want aerobic activity, you do a yoga class and you'll lose like fucking half your body weight in sweat. Trust me. This is what you need. I'm telling you what works because I've done it and I've seen so many people do it, and most people don't do it. You don't realize how little you're doing until you do it the right way, and then holy shit, results. Yeah, because you never really did it before. You think 3 days a week in the gym is enough to get you big? Think again. It's really not. It's not. No one that builds an amazing physique works out 3 days a week. They don't, because you don't get amazing physique 3 days a week. Can you get results? Absolutely. But you want an amazing physique, you want to look like me, you want to look like a fitness model. If you want that type of body, people don't realize the sacrifices you have to make. And I know this is getting a little bit off topic. Maybe I'll rage a little bit more on this tomorrow, but the sacrifices you have to make, it's not 3 days a week. It's not 4 days a week. It's not even really 5 days a week. It's usually 5, 6, and maybe even 7 days a week with foam rolling recovery and eating right and doing the right shit every fucking day for years. And people don't do that, so they don't get results. I wonder like, oh, well, I've been working out for years. I've been doing this. I eat this food. Half the people I talk to that eat a certain amount of calories and they say, hey, what do I eat to bulk up? I'm have a hard time eating to gain weight. And I ask them, well, what are you doing? And they don't even know. Well, I haven't counted or calculated. I'm like, you don't even fucking know what you're doing. How do you know how to improve? You don't know what to. How can you change anything if you don't know what you're doing now? Like, get back to the basics, and that's a positive thing. That's a positive message. Know what you're doing now. If you really need to make change, if you're kind of like happy eyeballing and you're happy and you're working instinctually like I am, but if you need, I want X, Y, and Z, then you better plot that shit out. You better get really analytical. You better get nitty gritty and start looking at what you're doing. And then change shit, because if it's not working, then guess what? You're not doing it right. Straight fucking truth, knowledge nukes, all up in your face. Volume, isometrics, a lot of type 1 fibers, carve the shoulder, front, side, and rear. Going to go live on premium in the next probably 15, 20 minutes. So I'll give everyone a little bit of time. If you're not a member of Swolenormous Premium, you'll have about 15, 20 minutes to sign up. Click the sign up button on the top of my Facebook page. It'll take you right to the sign up page where you can jump right in. It's PayPal, really simple. And what you will do, or what happens is you sign up, you pay, and you get linked to an application. You fill out that application, gives me a little background on what your goals are, what your experience in the gym is, and then after you submit that application, you will get another email with a link that you will click, and it will take you to a little thing where you request access to Swolenormous Premium. I'll get an alert and I'll add you. So you have about 15, 20 minutes so you can sign up for Premium. I'm going to break down a couple excellent exercises, demonstration on how to carve out, the long head, the triceps, how you can do these exercises in the gym or at home. I'm going to demonstrate how you would do them to carve out that long head and get the posterior deltoid going. The lateral, I keep saying the lateral head, the medial head of the deltoid, get that cap, and also work a little bit more and hit a little bit more on the origin range of the biceps tendon so you can carve out the front and the anterior deltoid, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate those in my private premium group I would say right now, but like in 15, 20 minutes, you have time to sign up for premium right now. Aside from that, thank you so much for joining me for episode 273 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular podcast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Everest and a K2 are here flexing on you. I have way too many phrases. We're gonna have a phrase off where I have an idea that I'm going to post up. I'll talk to you guys about this maybe even tomorrow. A new challenge and a new competition, probably for a Swolenormous premium membership and all this good stuff. Going to run another little competition, probably do it on Instagram. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be pretty cool. But I'll let you know where that's going to be, and I'll give you more details tomorrow. So that's going to be hot shit. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow for 274. Peace out, and enjoy your weekend motherfucking gains. Flex Friday, y'all. Get it.